Let's play two today in San Francisco. A doubleheader between the Dodgers and the Giants. Game one just moments away as the Dodgers try to even this series at a game apiece after last night's 6-4 loss. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Walker Buehler back on the big league squad, making his second major league start, his first one against the rival Giants.
The first one that he had was outstanding. He went 5 innings, very few hits, hit 101 miles an hour, averaged around 97. He did rely heavily on that fastball. And what you notice about Walker this year compared to the early innings last year is that his spray pattern is getting tighter. He is learning that these hitters will take balls and swing at strikes, and his strikes are good enough to get him out. It doesn't matter if it's the curveball, the slider, or the fastball. This is a big league arm with tremendous potential. Hoping to see more of that today.
He'll face off with Chris Stratton of the Giants, then Alex Wood against Johnny Cueto in the nightcap. The Dodgers and Giants in a doubleheader. Glad you're with us. We've got first pitch coming up. This doubleheader on an overcast afternoon, and before we get started, we go down to Alana.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. A couple of injury updates for you. Matt Kemp, dealing with that left quad tightness, is available off the bench in game one, but he is penciled to be in the outfield in game two. Tony Cingrani, dealing with that dead arm in the 7th inning yesterday, is not available for game one. However, he is going to play catch in the middle of the games, and then they will determine whether or not he's available for game two. Yasmani Grandal, who told me he's been hitting the fatty part of the left thumb several times this week, is fine. Obviously not in there today in game one. He will be behind the plate in game two. The Dodgers do not feel that they need to bring up anybody else if Cingrani is not available to go. They will not add a position player or another pitcher, guys. All right, Alana, we're all set. Chris Stratton threw his windup, and off we go with a fastball down and away. It's 1-0. Stratton's wife, Martha, gave birth to their second child on Wednesday night. They named her Mary, and he flew home to Mississippi to be there for the birth. So just activated off of the paternity list today. Congratulations to Chris and Martha.
That was Wednesday night at about 11:53. They said the birth was, and wow, I wonder how much sleep he's gotten.
Probably more if he flew back right after that than had he stayed.
Exactly. Just the time zone change and the 2 flights and the emotional event, the biggest event of your life. Second since it was their second child.
He's falling behind Chris Taylor 3-0. Now he's in there with a strike 3-1. Speaking of, it was nice to see Mr. and Mrs. Fields' baby at the hotel yesterday.
A lot of
Josh
fun.
and Brittany.
It's like a receiving line. As we got off all the bus, they were just inside the door and saw everybody.
Taylor ropes one down the left field line. That is foul. So the count goes full on Chris, who's trying to snap an 0 for 11 slide. The tone setter of this lineup, and so it's no surprise when you see that the Dodgers, when Chris Taylor goes hitless, as he did last night, are 1-5 this year. Leading the day off against Chris Stratton, and coaxing a walk out of him. So the leadoff man on. Here comes Chase Utley as part of this lineup for the Dodgers. A little bit different look to it. This is the first time in 3 years that Utley's hit second. It's only the 3rd time this year that Seager's been in the 3 spot. Bellinger's back in the cleanup hole. Jock Peterson hitting 5th and left. Barnes doing the catching. Then Puig and Muncy with his first start in almost a week. Yeah, September 2015, which was just about a month into Utley's tenure with the Dodgers, the last time that he hit second. Something he did sporadically throughout his time in Philadelphia behind Jimmy Rollins. He looks at strike 1.
Dave Roberts going to his spark plug, Chase Utley, in the first game of the doubleheader. Whenever the offense is kind of sputtered, he uses Chase in a lot of positions to get things going.
Juggling the top of the lineup after they went 0 for 12 last night, 1 through 3. Taylor, Barnes, and Hernandez. Ball and a strike. Closed captioning brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Taylor at first and a 1-1. It's high on Utley. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dodgers trying to snap this 3-game losing streak, which followed them winning 7 of 8. Looked like they had finally gotten things on track. They're losing the last 2 to the Marlins. The first one to the Giants last night, 6-4. San Francisco headed in a different direction. They've won 4 of 5. Stratton ready. It is 2-1. Fastball misses. 3 balls and a strike after the leadoff walk.
Dodgers walked 7 times last night, and when they have had their offense going, it usually starts with patience.
Yeah, 7 walks. They had 8 hits. They just had issues when they had opportunities bringing runners in, with the exception of that 4-run inning. On the corner, full count. That's been a theme during this losing streak. Dodgers 6 for 24 with men in scoring position over the last 3 games.
The offense yesterday was supplemented by Ryu's hit. He did everything possible to bring in a victory. Bullpen had its troubles.
Taylor runs, poked down the left field line, foul.
An interesting shot right there from Chase Utley. Pablo Sandoval way off the line, and now is starting to scoot over there after that foul ball. Let's see how far he is. He's playing up the middle as a shortstop. Chase just trying to wait on the pitch, make sure it's a strike, and then keeping those hands almost locked to kind of guide the ball to that way.
Stratton walked Taylor to start the game. Now another full count pitch to Utley is high, and it's back to back walks. You know, Chris Stratton has been really good, but if there's one thing that's been a bit of an issue, it has been the free passes. Couple of them to start the day today.
Yeah, 27-year-old that has taken a long time to really believe he's a big leaguer. This is a first-round draft pick. We've got a couple of those guys going today with Walker Buehler. 20th pick overall, 2012.
Out of Mississippi State. Was one of their top prospects for years. Goes to work against Corey Seager, who takes a first pitch strike. I'd say a big part of the thing with Stratton is just him getting here and believing that he belongs here. Had 7 games out of the bullpen 2 years ago. Last year was shuttled back and forth. It's really come to life for him the last few starts. Seager pops it foul. It's 0-2.
At the end of last year, he joined the rotation full-time August 5th and made his first opening day roster and part of the rotation. So it's been a big year for Stratton so far with that and new baby.
Yeah, and they need it because, of course, Madison Bumgarner has not pitched yet with the broken hand. Jeff Samardzija spent the first few weeks on the DL. In the dirt, blocked by Hundley. Runners hold, 1-2.
Now that unbelief or disbelief that you're a big leaguer led him to throwing a lot of off-speed pitches here early in his career, and the more he has trusted his fastball that it's enough, the more that has become the foundation pitch and really his path to success.
The opponents hit around 300 against that fastball last year. It's around 150 this year. Seager to foul it off, still 1-2.
And it's not really about the velocity with his fastball. As we watch Seager foul this ball off his right instep, but it's really about his ability to locate that fastball. And so the confidence that he can get by with it at that velocity and his ability to put it in all 4 quadrants has really been something that has made him very tough.
2 on, nobody out, and Stratton to Seager with a 1-2. A little cue shot in front of the plate. Hundley bare hands and throws Seager out. Runners advance to second and third.
Functions at a sacrifice bunt right there. Not what Corey was looking for, but the runners do move up. It was the first off-speed pitch for a strike that Stratton has thrown, 1 out of 6.
It brings up Bellinger. Dodgers have already seen Stratton twice. His first 2 starts of the year came against LA. Gave up 6 runs in 10 innings. But in the 3 starts since then, one of the best pitchers in the National League. Misses with the first one on Bellinger. Reverse splits guy has been much more difficult on left-handers. All right, now facing a string of 4 lefties in a row in Dave Roberts' order. Breaking ball lifted foul, and it's 1-1.
This is where Cody Bellinger has to hit like a 4-hitter, and you would think I'm thinking home runs or doubles. No, I'm thinking manufacture a run at least. Make sure you get 1 in here. This is why you are in the middle of the order. Yes, you have power, but we count on you in these situations.
Faces a high fastball, 1-2. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of the stereotypical ask of a cleanup guy, right? Opposite of the big home run double kind of thing.
Well, the guys that can't produce with the man on third and less than 2 outs usually and have power usually hit 5, 6, 7. But the guys that can put the professional at bat on you and get the routine run, they hit in the middle of the order.
Looped into right center field. McCutchen plays it on a bounce. The Dodgers strike in the first inning against Stratton with a base hit from Cody Bellinger.
Two guys in a row didn't hit it the way they wanted to, but Seager's turned into a sacrifice bunt, hitting it weakly, and Cody makes contact, which if you're not going to hit for power or a gap or a home run, this one works. Give yourself a chance, and it worked out.
And he does it with 2 strikes. So the Dodgers have the early lead. And Jock Peterson to bat with men at the corners.
Same scenario here, Joe. Get the routine run in.
Top of the zone for a strike. That, by the way, is the first inning run that Chris Stratton's allowed in his last 13 starts. Back to early on in his time in the rotation last year. Never happened before Mary was born.
That's true.
It's on her.
That's a lot of weight to put on a newborn. On a 1-1. On the inside corner with a strike 1 and 2. There's that location. He hasn't been afraid to run a 91 to 93 mile an hour fastball up. Not afraid to try and come in to Jock here, and this one's at 91, but you see the location. Boy, have we had some wide strikes the last couple games.
Trip Gibson back there today. 1-2. Breaking ball flipped into left. That's down for a base hit. Reverse image, really, of what Bellinger did. Bellinger blooped home a run to right. Peterson goes the other way, and the Dodgers lead at 2-0.
That's a team concept to the offense right now. Just do enough. You know, if you try for the routine, sometimes the special happens, but you have a larger percentage of getting the routine things done when that's what you're attempting. You've got a special talent that sometimes that'll blossom and hit the home run or the gapper, but make sure you make contact, get that run in.
And already a visit from the first-year pitching coach Kurt Young. As the Dodgers get 2 against Stratton here in the first inning. First and second, 1 out. Here's Barnes. 0 for 3 with a walk last night out of the 2 spot. Hitting 6th today. Takes the first one low.
My youngest was, or my oldest was born in November. My youngest was born in September. So one baby during, second child during the season. It's an interesting predicament to be out there after the birth of a baby. You really have to kind of divide your mind and say, that'll take care of itself. I've got to go out here and compete. And I have an idea what Chris Stratton is going through. It's a shock to your system to do so much, you know, for your wife and to be there for your second child, to make the trip there and to come back and then all of a sudden be thrusted into a major league game. It takes a lot of mental discipline to concentrate and to fight out there.
He's falling behind Barnes 2-0, and now 3 balls and no strikes. We do next. Dodgers looking for a big first inning here against Stratton. Trying to support Walker Buehler in his first road start in the majors. Green light if he wants it. Instead he takes a strike. 3-1. Buehler's all warmed up, now having to chill for a little bit. 31st pitch of the inning is ball 4, and the 3rd walk that Stratton has issued loads the bases for Puig. And Yasiel Puig takes on Chris Stratton today, brought to you by AARP. When he saw him on April 1st at Dodger Stadium, 2 for 3 with a double.
And you hear the Puig, and I thought they were booing Stratton, but I think it's a combination of both. This is a very nice position for Yasiel, the guy that he has seen very well.
Bellinger at third, Peterson at second, and Barnes at first. Yasiel Puig swings and misses at a fastball.
Yasiel could go a long way here of making it very tough on Bruce Bochy today with his bullpen use. You're talking about a starting pitcher that you could knock out early with a big hit here, or maybe some more. I think Boch will try and get the pitch count out of Stratton, not the results he's looking for.
Back-to-back fastballs, and he's got him in an 0-2 hole. Which is interesting. Breaking balls statistically are what Puig has had the big issues with. In fact, the lowest slugging in baseball on off-speed pitches. Now an 0-2. Those all fastballs and sits him down 2 away.
Well, the 2 Dodger hits have come on off-speed pitches. They weren't hit real hard, but one was a curveball, one was a slider. Yasiel gets beat with 3 heaters.
Up to Max Muncy with 2 out. It kind of feels like just getting 2 in this first inning would be settling for 2. Max looking for his first hit since that home run in San Diego. Swings through an off-speed pitch, strike 1. Gotten starts here and there. It's right-handed pitching. Happened to be Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg on back-to-back nights. Takes this one low.
Dodgers benefiting maybe from a little culture shock with Chris Stratton on the mound, and Walker Buehler, who is on deck, is going to benefit from these runs, either the 2 or more, calming his nerves in his second big league start.
A 1-1, and Muncy watches a curve drop in there for strike 2. Well, the damage done in that he's thrown 37 pitches, but this will feel like a small victory for Stratton if he holds the Dodgers to 2. The 1-2. Wrapped around the plate, ball 2.
Max Muncy has that calm that we see with Justin Turner, that we see with Chris Taylor, that there's a calm and a professionalism about his way in the box that gives me a lot of confidence about his future.
See nothing but off speed so far from Stratton, and on a 2-2 sees a fastball that's way high, and the count goes full.
You start the merry-go-round here, 3-2, 2 out. Even a long single can score the guy from first. He gets a really good jump.
Inside, ball 4. Max Muncy with a bases loaded walk, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. 4 first inning walks issued by Chris Stratton.
RBI and turn the lineup over. Stratton will have to face the top of the order even if he gets Buehler out. So there's a lot of information that has been exchanged to the Dodger lineup. It's going to help him against Stratton.
Buehler takes ball 1, and already movement down in the Giants bullpen on a day where we'll play at least 18 innings. So this rough start for Stratton doesn't just affect one game, it really affects 2. And he's fallen behind Buehler 2-0.
They might have to waste one of their visits from the catcher or an infielder. Yep, and here we go with Hundley, because they need some time to get the bullpen hot, and he looks lost on the mound, clawing at the dirt where he lands with his spikes, kind of trying to figure it out.
But again, this is a guy who the Dodgers hit in his 2 starts, but since then 2-0 with a 131 earned run average. He's kind of emerged, they think, is top of the rotation guy moving forward for their franchise. A strike, 2-1.
2012 first rounder, 20th overall pick. Guy that they really have projected to grow. It's taken a little longer than most thought, but it looked like he was on the cusp.
Buehler takes a rip at it and sprays it foul, 2-2. Stratton, in his short time in the majors, though, for whatever reason, has just not been able to figure it out against the Dodgers. ERA above 5. Home with a 2-2. Buehler takes strike 3, and that's the inning. But the Dodgers get 3 runs, and Walker Buehler's first start in San Francisco begins with a 3-0 lead. Walker Buehler, 3 runs to work with as the Giants get ready to bat for the first time with this lineup. It's a doubleheader, so there's going to be a different look to it. And there have been a couple of moves. Joe Panik and Mac Williamson both placed on the DL. So you see a much different group. Sandoval getting to start at third, Slater at left, Huntley at catcher, Tomlinson at second. All guys you don't normally expect to be in that starting lineup. Here's Walker Buehler, 23 years old, Lexington, Kentucky. 5 shutout innings in his first major league start on Monday.
Touched 101, averaged around 97 with Walker. We're going to watch what pitches he uses and when.
First one to Gregor Blanco, misses away, ball 1.
Thing that I've noticed already with Walker is that the curveball and the 4-seam fastball are really his put-away pitches, and the 2-seamer and the slider seem to be the pitches that he will pitch with, and I think that would be the best equation. He can control that 2-seamer and pitch down in the strike zone a little better, and then the slider, he controls that more. That 4-seamer and curveball can put people away.
He said especially on Monday really leaned on that 2-seam, is yanking the 4-seamer. And he said too that he thinks as he gets more comfortable, fewer nerves in the majors, fastball command will be one of the primary things that comes with that. Broxton deals 2-1 and has strike 2 on Bronco at 97.
I mean, just turn this count upside down. The first 2 pitches were up by the letters, ball 1, ball 2. So now you're forced into the strike zone and he's still doing fine. So you can start with those pitches instead of the 2 balls. I've always thought that guys that throw hard, they're better to go up the ladder as starting pitchers. Relievers can live up a little bit more because they come into key situations. The batters a lot of times are moving the bat.
There's obviously emotions with your first major league game. That came in relief last September. New set of emotions, first major league start. How about first start against the arch rival?
On the road.
Blooper into center, base hit for Blanco.
That's just baseball. That's a pretty good pitch. You jam him, it falls in. The Dodgers got a few of those in the first. Just don't sandwich those with walks, and you'll probably end up with a 0. It's part of the odds.
Brings up Brandon Crawford, who homered last night, and today hits in the top of the order for the first time this year. Hadn't hit above 6 prior to today. Shows bunt, takes low, runner takes off, and Blanco has easily stolen second.
Blanco had a pretty good equation. Got a young man on the mound, just got a hit, probably going to concentrate on the hitter. So I'll get a little bit of a crafty lead and go on first move, and he made it easily.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches. Crawford takes them both.
Man on second, no out. I'm looking to get the out to the left field side of the diamond so the runner doesn't move up. I'm a little perplexed on a second pitch curveball and a 1-0 count. It's probably going to fool the guy and make him roll over. Especially when I can throw 98 to 101.
Now the fastball, 97, and of course, to your point, the slower the stuff you throw up there, the better chance it gets pulled, which is what Crawford wants here.
I love the fact that Austin Barnes was sitting away. It's going to be a harder pitch to pull, and at 97 or greater, probably going to get the ball hit to the correct side.
Another fastball, another strike.
Great catch. Absolutely great catch from Austin Barnes. I mean, think about catching a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball with just the webbing ear glove, so you keep the majority of your glove on the plate. He just catches this with the very edge of the glove, and the strength and the confidence to do that with a man on second.
And now a 2-2. Slipped out of his hand and ran it full.
Again, right there, we're going breaking ball with a man on second and no out. I just try and Powder River him up. Your best pitch might be a 4-seam fastball right there. Get a pop up, get a fly out to left.
(3-2). It is a pop up, and it will reach the seats. On a fastball, though, which Crawford's shown no ability to catch up to yet. Blanco singled on the 7th pitch of the at-bat to start it. This will be the 7th pitch Buehler's had to throw to Crawford. It's another payoff and another foul ball. And similar to the first inning of his first start. He threw 26 pitches in the first against Miami. They had to work out of a bases loaded jam. Settled in from there. Breaking ball, yanked to second. Now to move the runner up. Utley makes the play. 1 out. And here comes McCutchen.
It was a nice solid breaking ball, but both pitcher and hitter did their job. Got a strike, got an out, move the runner up.
McCutcheon had that 6-hit game against the Dodgers on April 7th that he finished with a walk-off home run. He's hitting .167 since then, with only one other multi-hit game. Here in his first year with the Giants. Looks at a fastball away, 2-0. One of the two big additions the Giants brought in, along with Longoria. Gets the first game of this doubleheader off. Slider for a strike, 2-1.
It's an outstanding slider. I don't care what count it is, but 2-0, that's amazing.
Back to the fastball. Barnes frames it up, 2-2.
Walker has gone 2-0 to the first 3 hitters, so falling behind in the count, but has not given up a run. That's what has elevated that pitch count.
Another full count here. And it's a bigger deal when you're a guy like Buehler, who's 89 pitches on Monday were the most he's thrown as a pro. You only have so many bullets for any major league starter in 2018, but especially a guy in a program like him. He walks McCutcheon.
There's a few things working against his pitch count. A, he's trying to make perfect pitches on the edges and falling behind. B, he throws at an exceptional velocity, so he gets a lot of foul balls once he's in the strike zone. If your velocity's down around 93 to 95, you're not getting the foul ball. Maybe the ball's getting put in play. You're getting an out or you're getting a base runner. But he gets a foul ball, and that just adds to the pitch count.
With runners at the corners and 1 out, the best Giants hitter this year, Brandon Belt, steps to the plate. Walker Buehler pitches to him, and Belt fouls it back. There is one of those foul balls on a fastball.
One of the best fastballs in the big leagues against one of the best inside fastball hitters.
That's not always been the case. Belt's put in a lot of work to shorten the swing and be better at getting to those inside heaters. Slider slap foul, 0-2.
Belt knows he's had success there on the inner half of the plate. Buehler, confidence in his fastball. If you want to put him away here with a strikeout, you can go in there with your fastball. You can go strength against strength, but don't throw it for a strike. You've got room to really crowd him here. Get it in there slightly above the waist.
Close play at first.
Other than just a normal secondary lead, I think McCutcheon had a little idea that he might try and stretch that or even move. Dodgers taking some time to look at the replay before they say move on.
Oh, 2. Fastball fouled off. Challenged into 97. Chris Stratton in the top of this inning threw 45 pitches. This will be Buehler's 25th, and he still has just 1 out. Another 0-2 to Brandon Belt. Sharp slider was fouled. Stays at 0-2. Be a tough guy to finish off. Just ask Jaime Barria of the Angels, who engaged in that 21-pitch battle against Belt last weekend. Fouled off 16 pitches in 1 at-bat, and included 11 in a row at one point. Before the 21st pitch of that at-bat, he joked around with the Angels catcher Martin Maldonado and said, "You know what? When I'm in the field and this goes on, I hate it. I think to myself, just put it in play, man. So maybe I'll lay down a bunt on this one. And he was kidding. He wound up lining to right to end it. Here he takes a fastball in, and it's 1-2.
I'd love to see a fastball up right here. Way up and right in the middle, but way up. Something that he might pop up or swing through.
Here comes. Instead of slider to strike him out.
Outstanding pitch. A lot of confidence in Austin Barnes. You block it. A lot of confidence in yourself that you know you need to get it down, but you don't want to spike it. That slider is very effective.
It's one of the hardest, most high spin fast or sliders in baseball. At the corners, 2 out, Pablo Sandoval. Fastball misses 1-0.
Well, this guy will swing at the fastball from the toes to the nose. Can't expect him to walk. You got to expect him to start moving the bat.
Bounced up the middle, base hit into center. Sandoval with a 2-out RBI single to get the Giants on the board in the first.
Both teams hitting the ball weakly, but finding some holes here to nick up these starting pitchers. Ball just finding the middle of the field through the Dodger infield defense.
Austin Slater with 2 out. You see on the graphic, recalled from AAA yesterday. That was yesterday afternoon. He got the call that he needed to drive over from Sacramento and played last night. Then was sent back as he takes ball 1, at least on paper, before getting recalled again today when they put Mac Williamson and Joe Panik on the DL. They didn't allow him to drive back to Sacramento, though. They saved him that trip.
I wonder if he gets gas money.
Government mileage, 54 cents a gallon. Kicks away from Barnes. McCutcheon will come in to score, and it's 3-2.
They complimented the slider that he got belled on, kept it down. The curveball fails him here by getting that one in the dirt. Austin Barnes tried his best to smother it. Just a little angle to the upper body off the chest protector, deflects this one away towards the Giant dugout, scores the run.
So the Giants get 2 right back after the Dodgers get 3 in the top of the inning. Slater down the right field line and foul.
Well, both teams now in a predicament as far as starters pitch count at the beginning of a doubleheader. On the Giants side, Chris Stratton threw 45. Walker Buehler now with 32 and not out of the inning.
Slater chops one softly to first. Not going to be an easy play. Buehler steps on the bag late.
There's 2 things going through your mind. You're running over there. You're trying to figure out where your first baseman is, all the different angles. Then you try and in the back of your head know where the ball is. Gets the ball first and then steps on the bag. It looks like he might be out if the foot on the original attempt gets to the bag. The foot is short. The foot is sliding towards the bag. On the slide, it looks like it was beat out.
And as Rick Honeycutt comes out to talk to Walker Buehler, there's already action down in the Dodger bullpen. Mirrored halves of the first inning.
You know, when you go over there to cover first, if you can't look back at the bag, you line yourself up with second base. That's how you know where the bag is. And so as you're running towards first base, you're lining yourself up with your path, but you also know that if I have to look for the ball, line myself up with second base, getting your shoulder square, and then you know the bag is directly behind you. Walker cut his angle a little short, and that made him reach for the bag and allowed the runner to beat it.
Ross Stripling getting ready in a hurry. 3 singles and a walk in the inning. None of the 3 hits have been hit hard. And now Hunley, who's starting for Buster Posey here in the first game. That's with a tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first. A long way to go in this one, but already a bunch of stuff packed into this first inning. Hacks the first pitch down the line, Puig towards the corner, and he makes the catch with no regard for his own body. Dave Roberts, the training staff hustling out there as Puig goes full head of steam into the wall to catch it.
What an effort. What an absolute effort. And you just hope he is okay. He has verbalized that he wants to win the Gold Glove. He was the Wilson best defender in right field, but he wants that Rawlings Gold Glove. Boy, he puts himself into every play. Just hope he is just shaken up.
Running into a padded brick wall for the final out of the inning. And as you can imagine, went down into the clubhouse as soon as that inning ended. Top of the order for the Dodgers coming up here in the second. Chris Taylor to lead it off after they batted around in the first against Stratton. Takes strike one.
He hits the padding, but he hits the corner where the padding is the weakest. So you've got the joint where the pad on the that's flat to us is there, and then the pad that's on the other angle. But if you hit the corner, it doesn't really wrap around.
Here it is, real speed. Just a touch of a brace at the end there. But a big man like that running as fast as he does, man. Curveball is lifted in the air to deep left center field. Slater's back on it. Chris Taylor leaves the building. A leadoff solo shot, his 4th of the season, and the Dodgers lead it 4-2.
All 3 hits from the Dodgers on off-speed pitches. This one hit the best. Curveball that he just leverages out of here. The other ones were hit weakly. That one was hit very well.
First home run this season allowed by Chris Stratton. Chase Utley takes a strike. Coming into the game, he was one of just 3 pitchers in baseball that had pitched at least 20 innings and hadn't given up a home run. Rick Porcello, one of them, and the guy that goes tonight for the Giants, Johnny Cueto, the other. Ball and a strike on Utley.
Dodgers will try and put a scar on that record of Cueto's this evening.
Sure has been good, hasn't he?
He's been real good. .35 ERA.
Utley strokes on the left center field. That slices into the gap. Utley headed for second. He's got a double.
Chris Stratton might have a little baby lag and jet lag. This is one of those starts that he'll probably try and erase from his memory to get back on his routine. Exciting days in his personal life, having his 2nd child, and now having to face the Dodgers in this predicament.
Home run, then a double. Now Corey Seager. Fastball nowhere close. Corey hit a tapper in front of the plate his first time. Just turned 24 years old yesterday. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Gave himself a birthday present with that pinch hit single.
He's gotten a hit on his birthday all 3 years that he's been in the majors.
That had to be the toughest one yesterday with only 1 at bat.
1 chance, right. Last year he homered against San Francisco on his birthday. 1-2.
This ballpark, the 4 starting pitchers we have going today, I didn't think you'd have a slugfest right away.
No. Roberto Gomez again down to the bullpen to get loose. Already the 55th pitch, and it tails in for strike 3 on Seager.
Stratton sees the action in the bullpen out of the corner of his eye and comes back and dots one near the inner corner. Second time you get your long man up, I got to believe that Bruce Bochy, once he gets hot, he's going to probably bring him in next inning, or if he has to in this inning, or he might lose him for the day just with all the warm-ups.
Cody Bellinger takes a first pitch curve for a strike. And losing him for the day today is twice as big of a deal as most days. With a split doubleheader. Second game will be at 7. Bellinger started the scoring with a single in the first, hits it foul, and he's behind 0-2. Crawley at second with one out, and Stratton to Bellinger with another 0-2. Curveball's raked foul. And it stays at 0-2 on a guy that debuted in this ballpark last April. Youngest Dodger outfielder to debut since Matt Kemp in 2006. Both guys were 21 at the time. Bellinger hits a high drive to right center. McCutchen racing into Triple's alley and watching that ball short hop the wall. Bellinger gets a triple out of a ball into Triple's alley, driving home Utley and making it 6-2. Oh, 5-2, beg your pardon.
Cody Bellinger's first at bat did not hit the ball very well, but found an RBI. This one on Carl's cam, he absolutely crushes. Home run in all other ballparks, but this one. 419 feet away or so.
This has not been Chris Stratton's day. 4 walks, 5 hits now. Another visit from Kurt Young, more or less to buy time at this point. Home run, double, triple in this inning. There's Puig, by the way, reemerging out of the Dodger clubhouse. His spot due up 3 spots from now. He's got a bat in hand. Infield in as Peterson bats. 1 for 1 with an RBI single. First pitch just misses, and Stratton flummoxed. I didn't get that one from Trip Gibson. What a good sign. Two balls, no strikes. Peterson hits a rising liner to right field towards the bricks. That one ricochets off the wall. Bellinger in to score. Peterson's headed for third. Back-to-back triples and a 6-2 lead. Bruce Bochy's seen enough. The Dodgers pounce on Stratton, who had been 2-0 with an ERA around 1 over his last 3 starts. And now on a doubleheader Saturday, the Giants into the bullpen in the second with just 1 out. birth of his second child, living a nightmare right now. 6 runs at least on 6 hits, and he's chased by back-to-back triples.
A couple of guys now set up to attempt the cycle with Cody Bellinger, a single and a triple, and Jock Peterson matches that right after him in the batting order with this second triple in the inning. What do the Dodgers need? A double to hit for a cycle this inning?
Already have it.
Single.
Single. Stop it first. Austin Barnes takes strike 1 from Roberto Gomez. Batted around in the first inning. Barnes the 6th man to bat here in the second.
Gomez was called up for Chris Stratton when he went on paternity leave. Now he replaces him.
Austin's first inning walk, one of the 4 that Stratton issued in that first inning. It was 4 walks and 2 hits in the first. It's been a home run, a double, and 2 triples in the second. He tails in for a strike, 1 and 2. Got him swing. 2 out.
Well, this is a good sign that Yasiel is getting this at bat. The fact that he is walking around and says it's willing to play and able to play after crashing into that wall. Good news for the Dodgers.
He then fouls the ball off himself. Jeez.
What a day.
Ugh. Off the same side.
Left ankle, and this is going to be left hip, shoulder, knee.
Tough living right now, Yasiel. Peterson at third, 2 out. And I don't know, 1. Puig swings and misses on 2.
That's a legitimate limp there after that swing, and I think he was dealing with some serious pain.
As we mentioned already, Matt Kemp injuring that quad last night, although available and likely to start the second game. Already a little banged up out there. 0-1.
Looks like that left foot is a little more tender than whatever he hurt when he crashed into the wall. I think we had the awkward swing because he went to land and transfer his weight into that left side and felt something there.
Puig gets a fly ball to left center field that Gregor Blanco will catch and end the inning. But the Dodgers get 4 extra base hits in the inning, starting with Chris Taylor's home run, his 4th of the season. And after 1.5, the Dodgers 6, the Giants 2. that Puig at bat. He leaves the game. Farmer comes in at third. Muncy flips across the diamond to first, and Cody Bellinger goes out to right. Walker Buehler delivers strike one to Kelby Tomlinson. 8-9-1 for the Giants. Buehler quickly ahead 0-2. This is how Puig's AB finishes. All kinds of pain. Half inning after he bangs into the wall, he rips the ball off his foot, off his ankle. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Backhand Seager. Low throw. Tests Muncy immediately, and he's got it. Max has played more first base than he has third throughout his career and looked very comfortable on that one.
Walker Buehler came out throwing strikes. Dodgers got runs in the first. He had to wait 21 minutes that inning. This last inning, they get 3 more runs. He had to wait about 15 minutes to get back out there, but did a nice job getting loose, throwing strikes to get that out.
Roberto Gomez hits for himself, takes strike one. And quickly 0-2. First plate appearance for Roberto Gomez in his major league career. Go face a guy that can throw 101. Have fun. And he can break off a slider to you. 2 out. We take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. How did Buehler's debut start stack up with some other members of the Dodger rotation? Kershaw's first one came against St. Louis in 2008. Gave up 2 runs over 6 innings. Maeda had 6 shutout innings against San Diego. And then back in 2013 against these Giants, Ryu got tagged for 10 hits, but just 1 run. And what was a defeat? Of course, Buehler the 5 shutout innings as he delivers a strike to Gregor Blanco.
Always take some of those veteran stats on their first starts that come over from Korea or Japan, but they still get qualified as rookies in first big league start. I'm sure they have the same amount of nerves, but they've got a lot more experience.
Blanco lays a bunt towards third. That's perfectly done. Buehler still guns a fastball down there. With Blanco having already crossed the bag with his second hit in as many innings.
Walker Buehler's a very good athlete, but this is an even better bunt with a speedy runner. Well placed, well executed.
So Buehler's given up 4 hits now, Oral. 3 of them weren't hit hard enough to register exit velocity. Hunter at first, 2 out. Brandon Crawford looks at strike 1.
He's not going to be able to control that throughout his career, but what he is going to be able to control is getting ahead of the hitters, and that's what he's doing in this inning. Instead of the first 3 hitters that he faced, he went 2-0. This inning now attacking and throwing strikes. That's what's going to keep his pitch count down. He's going to have a tough time controlling and can't control the foul balls because of his great stuff. So his equation to pitch deep into games is going to be different than others.
That's the 0-1 fly to Crawford. Down and in for a ball. 1-1. Trying to get his day back on track after the 31 pitch first inning. Got 6 runs of protection so far. It's in on the hands of Crawford, who yanks it foul. 1-2. Broke his bat.
Second game starts at 7, maybe. The way this is going.
Yeah,
we're going toe to toe like a couple of heavyweights.
Two and two, and the Giants were involved in the longest doubleheader in baseball history. Back in 1964, they played at Shea Stadium, brand new ballpark of the Mets. First game cruised along 2.5 hours, doing fine. The second game goes 23 innings.
Oh boy!
All told, it was 9 hours and 52 minutes of baseball that day. Runner took off, and Crawford dribbled it foul.
That happens today. It's a good day to do your Saturday chores at home, having the game on in the background, watching it. Put it on the radio if you're going to go out and clean the garage.
You can do brunch with the Dodgers, and you can maybe do a late night snack with them too.
And if we go 23 innings in game 2, you'd be up for a while.
We're going to do breakfast tomorrow. Buehler now 50 pitches into this one.
We go 23 innings in game 2. My tie is going to be a headband.
I'm holding you to that.
Okay. I'm not worried.
There goes Blanco, and he gets Crawford swinging. Strike 3. Buehler puts his foot down here in the second after the 3-run top half. Rolling along early on in this doubleheader, 6-2. Dodgers into that Giants bullpen in the second inning of this doubleheader today. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. Chasing Chris Stratton from the game. Humberto Gomez to face Max Muncy. Then Buehler back to the top and Chris Taylor. Muncy drew a bases loaded walk his first time. Back in the Bay Area where he started his major league career. Parts of a couple of seasons with the Oakland A's. Falls behind 0-2. Can't get two more opposite game day experiences though. 2 Bay Area teams as far as the ballparks. This is beautiful here, and they've been working for a long time trying to get a new stadium over in Oakland. Dodgers will go there later this year. On a 1-2 pitch. Muncy watches it miss. Ball 2. Driven to right center field and deep. McCutcheon back on the warning track, and it's another one that ricochets off the wall. Muncy stops with a leadoff double. They are peppering that right center field wall. Another extra base hit. It's 5 over the first 2+ innings, Oral.
Last night, this ballpark held a lot of warning track fly balls. Today, the Dodgers are hitting them so hard that they're bouncing them off the wall. The exit velocity on these hits are line drives, and they are over 100 miles an hour, I'm sure.
So Muncy's been aboard both times. That there's his first hit since his home run in San Diego. Buehler bunts it firmly, and Muncy has no choice but to hold on. 1 out. Now, the day after the top of the order was completely silenced. Top 4 on the Dodge order today has accounted for all 6 runs. Taylor's walked and scored, and homered.
Got some hits with runners in scoring position today.
That's foul.
This is the maddening part about watching the Dodgers here early in the season. You see a game like this, and the bullpen comes through later in the game to have the offense cooking. Just looking for that consistency. They know it's there as far as the potential and the abilities. Dave Roberts in his post-game sound last night talking a lot about just the sample size is getting large enough that we have to play better, more consistently.
11-13 with his 3-game losing streak after they climbed above 500 for the first time. It's a breaking ball for a strike. 0-2. Right about where they were last year at this point, with 12-12. It was here in San Francisco that they began to take off. Gomez to Taylor with an 0-2 pitch. After a long pause, here it comes. Chris fouls it off.
Third time this year the Dodgers have lost 3 in a row.
Wasn't his fault.
The monster.
Living up to that nickname this year, huh? On both sides. Taylor muscles a ground ball that Crawford picks up. 2 out. First time he's been retired today. Muncy advances to third, and it brings up Chase Utley. First RBIs for him in 4 years, since before the surgeries. He's got the look of a guy who's living right now, doesn't he?
The only thing he's missing is the W from yesterday and his team winning. He would have the best seat in the house.
Utley takes a strike. You know, we joke around about Will Ireton kind of being Kenta's shadow, Brian Lee being Hyun Jin's shadow, their interpreters. Well, today during his post-start workout, running through the ballpark, running the stadium steps, guess who his running partner was? It was Brian. 0-2.
That's some dedication. Just in case he runs into somebody and needs to talk to him in the middle of the workout.
Yeah. Or maybe Brian likes running.
I would think that's more it.
Yeah.
I would just wait for him at the bottom of the stairs when he comes back.
You can't be too good of a runner, though, when you're the interpreter, right? You can't show your guy up. You can't beat him up and down the steps.
I'm sure that Ryu has instructed him not to pass him.
Yeah, there's a safe distance.
Oh, it looked like what? 6 or 8 steps behind?
Yeah, don't you dare get within 4 strides, Brian. I'm the monster. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, a hit off of the glove of Hundley and would have been strike 3 if he'd caught it. You could see home plate umpire Trip Gibson start to get ready to punch Utley out. And Utley, seeing the ball was dropped, was headed down to first, thinking that he was going to get punched out.
I thought that was a strike, and I think Chase Utley thought it was a strike, and for some reason got blinked through.
It's the opposite of showing an umpire up, but kind of has the same effect. Running towards first when he didn't want you to. Muncy at third. He started this inning with a double and a 2-2. Another foul ball. Chase has walked and doubled, scored after both. Dodgers getting 3 in each of the first 2 innings this afternoon. Roberto Gomez on in relief of Chris Stratton. Rookie from the Dominican Republic sets and deals at 2-2. And Utley drives a ball to right field and deep. Out towards that wall again. And it short hops it once again. Utley with an RBI double. Dodgers lead 7-2.
This one hurt. Chase Utley gets another life on a miscalled strike 3. And then he makes Gomez pay. 4 strikes and you get a double.
They've already matched a season high with 6 extra base hits in this game. Only 2 position players yet to reach. Puig, who is out of there now, and this guy, Corey Seager, who's grounded out and struck out. Takes a change up low. Another change up. This one a strike.
Right about now, Bruce Bochy is thinking, I am so glad I have Johnny Cueto going in game 2.
Yeah.
Thinking about the pitchers he might have to use here to get through this game. Make any manager rub his head.
Seager in pain. Follow through that swing. Second time he's got himself there today.
We're going to see a new shipment of pads for the front foot of Dodger hitters the way this is going.
I need to bubble wrap the whole thing. Whole body the way it's been going this weekend. Seager pulls one that'll get through. A base hit into center. A rare single for the Dodgers this afternoon. Brings home Chase Utley. And it's 8-2 in the third.
Corey Seager starting to find some holes. Ground ball last night when he pinch hit. Through a hole there on the right side. This one slightly more up the middle with that single and RBI.
Kurt Young getting his workout in today. A lot of trips out there already. Now Bellinger coming up, and last time that he came up, he and Peterson ripped back-to-back triples. It's the first time since 2014 the Dodgers have had back-to-back triples. Came in the same ballpark, which produces more triples than any other in baseball.
In some ways, these are routine here in this ballpark. Both guys scorched the baseball.
And Kurt Young, the pitching coach, just got thrown out of this game. Had some choice words on his way back from the mound for home plate umpire Trip Gibson, and that was that. He's saying we got to play 2 today. We've already played an hour and a half in this first one. I've had enough of this one.
He's also saying that 3 out of the 4 guys that were watching the called strike that you didn't call to Chase Utley, they all got it right. You missed it. Hundley had it as a strike. Gomez had it as a strike. Utley had it as a strike. Gibson behind the plate had it as a ball.
So the barking starts there. Magic words come a little bit after that.
No more, no more, no more. And the right hand goes in the air, and the lineup card comes out to cross him off.
8 runs on 9 hits for the Dodgers over 2 2/3. Gomez to Bellinger with the first one. Cody takes a strike. 7 of the 9 hits today have come with 2 strikes. It's an area where the Dodgers have put a focus on the last few years. They're among the worst in baseball with 2 strikes 2 years ago. Last year still weren't very good. This year they've been one of the best. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A couple years back, Turner Ward was doing a presentation to all the hitters about 2-strike approach. He had a few statistics up on the whiteboard. It was a surprise to me that 50% of a team's at bats will end up with 2 strikes. And for every individual, no matter if they're good or bad at swinging early or swinging late, attacking or patient, about 50% of even individual guys will end with a 2-strike pitch sooner or later. So how you hit with 2 strikes is very important.
Turner told him you got to get gooder. Big rip and a miss, 2-2. That's literally something he says. I'm not making fun of his southern accent.
And he understands it's not grammatically correct. He just comes up with some catchy phrases like that so that people understand it's an important lesson.
Top 5 in Turner Ward's order today. A combined 8 for 11 with 2 walks.
It's Turner Ward's lineup when it's doing well.
Right.
Dave Roberts, he made it up. You know, they're doing poorly.
2-2. Softly bounced to Belt. He'll step on the bag, and that's that in the third. But the Dodgers get 2 more with 2 more extra base hits. his first major league start. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it. And our Coors Banquet timeless moment, if he's going to pay homage to the movie, then we will too. It was released 8 years before Walker was born. As he delivers a strike to Andrew McCutchen. $70 million it brought in with a budget a little over $5. That's pretty good to strike 0-2.
I'm sure it's still making money with people renting it, and we just helped.
Walker does every time he tweets. Cubs game in the movie, that was a real Cubs game against the Atlanta Braves, June 5th, 1985. McCutchen walked and scored one of the 2 runs in the first inning against Buehler. Here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got him on a slider. We got an update on Puig for that, down to Alana.
Guys, was just told by the Los Angeles Dodgers that Puig was removed from the game with left hip soreness. Obviously, you can see why as he crashed into the wall there, but left hip soreness for Yasiel.
Get a little hip pointer working right there. Hopefully it doesn't swell up, that it's just kind of hour to hour. Who knows what it'll be like for the second game.
Strike 1 on Brandon Belt.
So many different modalities down in the training room now to remove swelling, help with the pain. These guys get a tremendous amount of treatment if something is wrong.
Quickly 0-2. Great medical staff they have here with the Dodgers. A ball and 2 strikes on Belt.
Matt Kemp, who will start in game 2, removed yesterday with a little tightness in his quad.
So you got Puig with a hip, you got Kemp's quad. Seager tweaked the hip the other night. Tony Cingrani last night with a case of what they're calling dead arm. Thankfully, it seems all of them pretty minor.
Corey Seager just fouled the ball off his foot.
Yeah. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yasmani Grandal took one off his catching wrist
too
last night.
Another 1-2. Back to the fastball. Tap to Buehler. 2 out. Can be real fun being a first baseman. Walker Buehler fields it because he's not throwing changeups over there.
Yeah, and then if you're in day game, you get a little glare and some white shirts behind the pitcher from that specific angle. You just got to really concentrate on the ball.
Sandoval drove in a run with a base hit to center in the first inning. Takes strike 1. Buehler really attacking with a fastball here in this third. Strike 2.
I'm sure if Walker looks at his pitch counts and goes back and says, how do I avoid those big pitch count innings, he will find out that first pitch strike does a lot for the pitch total. That first inning with the big pitch count, he was 2-0 on almost everybody. He just starts throwing the 2-0 pitch that gets him back into counts on the 0-0 pitch. That mentality, that attack mentality, his stuff is good enough.
Oh, weird shot to third on a short hop. It's Farmer. A ball that had a ton of English on it. First 1, 2, 3 inning of the game for Walker Buehler. On to the fourth. All Dodgers. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Back in San Francisco, Dodgers all over the Giants in this one. 8-2 as we go to the fourth. Jock Peterson, an RBI single and an RBI triple. Long way to go, and he's halfway to his cycle in a ballpark where left-handed hitters have an advantage when it comes to trying to hit home runs with that short porch and right. That's ball one. So much of the city's landscape is the water that surrounds it. We saw some of it under the bridge there coming back from break. Beautiful town. You know the financial district, which I'm sure you've walked around in some, right on the bay, just north of the park along the Embarcadero. That used to be underwater. One and two on Peterson. It was a cove. A lot of the gold prospectors that came in the 1800s anchored their ships on what is now the financial district. But just about everybody abandoned the ship, hurrying off to try and find the gold as quickly as they could. And most of them did find some. So they stayed, left the boats out in the cove. That's a ball 2-2. Years went by, close to 500 abandoned ships in this cove. So they began to repurpose them. One became a saloon. They made one into a hotel. There was a warehouse made out of a boat. Pound goes full. And some of the prospectors sunk their boats on purpose. There was a weird loophole in the local laws that said that if a ship sinks, the land below it becomes property of the owner of the boat. And so they were trying to find a way to get some land out of that loophole. So they're sinking their ships intentionally, and then they start making land around their sunken boat. Peterson taps one to the left side. Crawford barehand throw. Not in time. Peterson with an infield single. And so they would, they'd build piers out to the boats, and they'd take wagons and they'd take wheelbarrows and they'd have horses pull these wagons out on the piers, and they'd dump dirt off of the sides of the piers and build land around the boats. And eventually there was so much of that done that these 500 sunken boats in the cove, it eventually all became land. And so there's a bunch of these buried boats under the financial district now.
So they don't have basements though.
No, you're probably right.
Run into a boat.
Yeah.
But you know what? They probably weren't dealing with, what, 50 feet water. They're probably dealing with like 10 foot.
Very shallow.
Shallow water. Because if they're making a hotel out of a sunken boat, like it sinks a little bit, you got the hotel above.
Exactly.
Boy.
I'm going to take a look at this. Initially ruled safe.
The umpires have gone under the headset. It's going to be tight. A smattering of applause here in San Francisco, thinking the umpires got it wrong. Not even when it's shown here in-house does anybody seem like they have a conclusion.
Might be one of those that would be hard to overturn no matter which way the call went.
Brandon Crawford made a marvelous play on it. The ball caromed a little bit and changed direction off the mound. And he came in and barehanded it, giving the Giants an opportunity to possibly get an out of this. Oh, that angle right there slowed down. Looks like he's out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I didn't see any compression on the bag before that ball touched the leather, but not enough to overturn it.
So Jock has his third hit of the day. Leadoff single here in the fourth. 10th Dodger hit already. And here's Barnes. Backs up, it finds the zone for a strike.
Don't look now, but Jock Peterson's hitting 275.
Huh.
He was down below, what, about 160-ish? Way down.
Dave Roberts has said he thinks the at-bat quality has warranted more playing time, which he's given him. Barnes gets hit. And the first two have reached before Gomez has gotten an out here in the fourth.
Gomez immediately turned and kind of said something into his glove, like he did not want to do this. This is not because the score is 8-2 and it's early. This is just a ball that gets away from him. Like they're coming two-seamer low and in. Even Nick Hundley turned away.
You haven't felt any pain yet today. Why don't you wear this one? Now you're like everybody else on your team. First at bat for Kyle Farmer. Into the game for an injured Yasiel Puig. If you're just joining us, crashed into the wall in right field making a catch and came away with a sore hip. Farmer's coming off his first career 3-hit game last night. This is the first time really in Farmer's baseball life, with the exception of the late season call up last year, where he's not been an everyday player. Not an easy thing to try and keep a consistent swing when you're not getting consistent playing time. Chopper to third, but foul.
I talked earlier about Max Muncy, and it looks like the very mature approach he has in the batter's box, a calm and a plan. I think Kyle Farmer is another one of those guys. These two guys that Dodger fans haven't seen much of. But they have brought a very professional at bat into the lineup when they get to play.
2 on, nobody out, and a 2-1 from Gomez.
Only one batting glove, just the bottom hand.
Trying to picture it. Does he usually have both?
No, I'm just thinking compared to other hitters.
Oh, right.
Usually most guys either go 2 or none. Most guys are 2.
It's Pepper on the left side of the ballpark over there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Are you a fan of the no batting glove look?
Oh, I just don't understand how the guys can do it with all the reps they take. Is it Gaddis?
Gaddis, yeah. Vlad Guerrero, one of the famous ones.
Yeah.
Jason Kendall.
A lot of pressure on your hands and with all the swings they take.
Full count.
And the friction, that bottom hand especially with the knob of the bat there. Not only do you have guys that have the gloves on, most of them, but then there's padding under that or some tape where there's a blister to kind of cover it up. Batting gloves and the way guys tape their hands or their bats has gotten real sophisticated.
Peterson at second, Barnes at first, and a 3-2 to Farmer. Yanked to third, caught by Sandoval, back to second, a double play.
It's a crazy game. Sometimes bleeders get through and line drives turn into double plays, and that's what this one is. Early in the game, first inning, Dodgers didn't hit the ball real hard. Found a couple runs. Kyle Farmer hit that one pretty good. Turned into 2 outs.
Gomez trying to put up the first 0 for Giants pitching today. With 2 gone, Max Muncy. Productive day for him. Bases loaded walk in the first, doubled to open the third, and came in to score. One of the 6 extra base hits for the Dodgers. Oh, and 2. A rare scoring outburst between these teams. First 7 games this season, they're both averaging about 2 or 3 runs per contest. And you wouldn't have thought that this would have been the guy to do it against. Chris Stratton's been so good. That's why they play the games, though. Gomez, a former Rays farmhand. Strikes out Muncy to finish the Dodgers in the 4th. Couple of base runners, but for the first time today, no damage to the bottom half. 8-2.
Arizona Diamondbacks Thursday afternoon at 12:30 for this week's MLB Facebook Watch Game. Follow MLB Live on Facebook to catch exclusive national game broadcast all season long.
Could build a saloon out of that boat. Austin Slater takes strike one from Walker Buehler.
I wonder if anybody caught on to, like, I'm just going to buy a ship, sink it, and get the land value.
Right? Yeah. If they knew what was coming. I hear it's not cheap around here for land.
Not anymore. It would have been a good investment.
I sure would have. If they could just have waited around a couple hundred years, they really would have made out great. Two and one on Slater.
Take a look at Walker Buehler pitches by inning. That first inning faced 7 hitters, only 2 first pitch strikes. Since then, first pitch strikes in the second and third inning, 7 for 7. When we talk about how to get the pitch count down, it really is part of the formula, just throwing that first pitch for a strike instead of waiting until a 2-0 pitch.
Very similar story to his first start when he had those 25 pitches in the first, but settled in from there. And so something tangible for him to focus on going into his next one. Hundley and Tomlinson to follow for the Giants here in the fourth. Payoff. Strike 3. Perfectly placed at the knees for his 5th K of the day.
Pitch before this was a slider. He tried to walk him off the plate. This one originated where the slider was, but then it's a 2-seamer that comes back and catches the outside corner.
And now faces Nick Hundley. 34-year-old in his 11th big league season. Fights off the first pitch. Teardrop of a base hit into right. It's yet another softly hit base hit against Buehler.
I love the fact that he just attacked him with the fastball. Hey, you know it's coming, but it's hard to hit. You didn't hit it well, but if that happens over the course of my career, if that's the way they're going to hit a first pitch fastball, I'll take it every time.
Derek Law, who is the 26th man that the Giants carry in today, can have an extra guy in a doubleheader. He's headed down to the bullpen. There's strike 1 on Kelby Tomlinson. Starting at second today because Joe Panik has been placed on the disabled list. Hurt his thumb in last night's game on a pickoff play at second. So Giants offense that's already been struggling to score runs, just a little more than 3 runs per game now without Panik. Without Mac Williamson, who had given him a bit of a jolt since his call up. Williamson placed on the DL today with a concussion. A pop fly. Utley or Muncy. Muncy's got it.
Hey, hot dog!
Sounds good to me. Hot dog?
I think we're going to need one sooner or later today.
There are other food options.
Chicken, spinach.
Love both. Frozen lemonade.
Side of lemons with chicken and spinach.
Throw it on there, yeah. Gomez hits for himself, takes a strike.
This is not a day to watch what you eat. You're going to be at the ballpark all day. Just need sustenance.
Oregon Trail mentality, though. I brought like 78 RX bars.
Wow.
You just don't know. I mean, I guess
are you
they
sharing?
didn't have hot fudge sundaes on the Oregon Trail, but yeah, you can have one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not a bad ratio. 1 of 70.
Right.
I can have 1.
Maybe even 2. You can have 1 a game.
I thought you should have used the word some. You can have some.
I didn't really bring 78, so.
Okay.
You a big fan? RX
I don't know if I've ever had one, or you loaned me one.
Yeah, you've had them. 0-2. Strikes him out. Walker Buehler with 6 Ks over 4 innings, and just like his first start, he's settled in as the game has gone on.
Family's home in Arizona and reflects on winning the 2017 Rookie of the Year award. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Well, in the first inning, didn't look like Walker Buehler would be hitting for himself at this stage of the game, but much like his first time out, he's gotten the pitch count down, and here he is, it appears, ready to pitch into the 5th.
Since the 7th hitter he faced in the game, he has thrown 12 first pitch strikes in a row, Walker Buehler. So he has kept that pitch count under control, and he's getting to hit. Chance to get a W. Go back out there for the 5th and complete that.
Norberto Gomez, the definition of wearing one today. Hadn't thrown more than 32 pitches in a game yet. Career high in the majors, 42. This would be his 55th. And while it may not mean a difference in the win or the loss in this game, there are 2 today, and what he's doing is important for the Giants as the day goes on.
Well, if he can go deeper into the game, his teammates are going to appreciate it. His manager, his pitching coach that was removed.
Three and one on Buehler.
Sarcastically in the locker room, a pitcher like this is labeled the abuser. But it's a positive nickname for a day when you go out there and take it for the team.
Buehler hits a bouncer to third. Pablo Sandoval throws him out. Brings up Chris Taylor. We take a look at our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. His home run to lead off the second.
Breaking ball that he caught perfectly, left center drive. The arc of the swing matched the arc of the ball, and that drove it out of here.
Arco top tier play of the game, brought to you by Chris Taylor also.
Guy that's always dreamt of being a big leaguer, growing up in Virginia. In first grade, the teacher had the students write an autobiography from the perspective of their 40-year-old self. And in that biography, Chris predicted he'd go on to play in the majors. Not just that he'd go play in the majors, but that he'd do it after getting drafted by the Seattle Mariners, which he did.
Wow. If you can see it, you can do it.
Oh, and 2.
Tommy Lasorda's favorite saying is, "You gotta believe." That story reminds me of Tommy.
Waits on a breaking ball and serves it into center for a base hit. Third time he's been on in 5 innings today after the back-to-back 0 for 5 nights. The Dodgers with their 11th hit total.
What about now? Alex Wood is saying, save some of these hits for off of Cueto. We're going to need some runs in the second game.
It's been good to see them get right as a lineup here, though, because that is not a fun guy to try and figure things out against.
They had a nice equation working last night, just had trouble with runners in scoring position, and Ryu picked them up. But same approach here again today, more of a team concept. Passing the baton, taking their walk, driving in the routine run from third with less than 2 outs. And then they've also peppered that right field wall for some triples.
Well, he's been aboard all 3 times, 2 doubles and a walk. He's scored after all 3. 8-2 in the 5th. Gomez to Utley with an 0-1. A little bit outside, ball 1. Hitting second today, first time that he's done that since his first month with the Dodgers in 15. Time sure flies, doesn't it? He's in his 4th year, time in a Dodger uniform. Two and 1. There goes Chris Taylor on a breaking ball that's low. No chance to get him at second. Taylor with a stolen base, and the count is 3-1 on Chase Utley.
8-2, but still very early in the game. This game is not a blowout yet, and it's not so late that you would think you call off the jam. So the Dodgers still pressing the issue. Chris Taylor with a very good jump there.
Gomez really digging deep, giving the Giants some innings today. A 3-1. Left it over the plate and got away with it on a pop up to Crawford.
Top 2 guys in the order got their 4th at bat in the 5th inning.
Man.
Have a day. They might end up with 8 at bats.
Now Seager. RBI single his last time. Dodgers trying to snap the 3-game skid after winning 7 of 8. It's kind of turning into a roller coaster of inconsistency. Started 4-9, then won 7 of 8. Now lost 3 in a row. Seager strokes one the other way, down for a base hit. That'll bring home Chris Taylor. Seager with his 2nd run scoring single of the day, and they've got 9 over the first 5.
Plate appearances for the first 3 guys in the order. They have only made an out 4 times. Getting on with walks, base hits, doubles. Chris Taylor's got that home run.
And now Bellinger's got a single and a triple. Takes a cut and misses. Strike 1. Most runs the Dodgers have scored since the San Diego series. Offense have kind of gone quiet on the homestand. Season high is 13. Final game in San Diego. They're taking a changeup to put Bellinger ahead 2-1. Cody's back in right field today. Yasiel Puig leaving the game with the injury. Something that he did regularly when he was in high school until his junior year. He started playing first base. Played 3 games there last year, although one of them is the game where he got hurt in Detroit. Rolling his ankle, making a play along the warning track. The couple of weeks on the DL, there was a bit of a silver lining that came from that. He was having a really hard time keeping weight on. It got to a point where it was an issue. He had lost so much weight. That allowed him to kind of reset the diet, not burn as many calories during the day. There goes Seager with a 3-2. It's low and inside for ball 4. The inning stays alive for Peterson, who's going to face, it looks like, Derek Law. Previous season high was 32 pitches for Roberto Gomez. He gives Bruce Bochy a hard-fought 73 today after Chris Stratton failed to make it through 2. Back to San Francisco in a moment. Better days, trying to eat up some more innings for Bruce Bochy.
This game is going so long for Bruce Bochy and the pitching staff. He has 2 abusers, 2 guys he's going to have to let run their course as far as they can go.
Jock Peterson, 3 for 3. First 3-hit game of the year for him. Takes strike 1. A little bit in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jock almost stares at his bat like he's getting in a trance to really calm down in the box and secure his plan and his approach on the next pitch.
It's a pop fly into center. Just in time to avoid talking about the rest of his between pitch routine. 9-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Homer on Wednesday, May 9th, when the Dodgers host Arizona. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance and at Dodger Stadium and take home a Justin Turner walk-off home run bobblehead. Presented by State Farm. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Walker Buehler's 5th inning of work. Top of the order, Gregor Blanco, who singled both times, takes strike 1. Oh boy, it didn't look like Buehler would be still going at this point.
He's on a roll. That's his 13th first pitch strike in a row.
Ground ball to Chase Utley at second, and he gets an out on 2 pitches here in the 5th.
9 1/3 innings last September as a call-up. Now he's at 9 1/3 innings here in 2018, and what a difference it makes. What he learned over the offseason, the spring training, and now here producing at a level that he could get used to.
And it is very unlikely that Buehler will stay with a major league team straight through to the end of the season with the usage monitoring that they're going to do, him only being a couple of years removed from Tommy John surgery. Can much more easily control those innings in the minors. The wins and the losses aren't the end all. It's a ball on Brandon Crawford. They'd love to control him to the point where there is a point where they bring him up and the leash is off, relatively speaking, and he's part of the rotation straight through and can be part of the postseason rotation in a perfect world.
Well, his first 2 big league starts, he goes 5 innings and he's still growing and learning, and then he starts throwing more first pitch strikes with his stuff. All of a sudden you start to consider that he can go 6 or 7, and that would be fantastic for a young starter.
Through 98 innings last year, and what was his first full pro season. You know, the year before he only threw 5 innings, 3 games in his first season as a pro, 1 year removed from Tommy John surgery. It's Crawford to pop up to left center field. Taylor and Peterson both want it. The center fielder takes charge. He had Tommy John right after he was drafted, so more than a year went by before he made his pro debut. So you go from 5 innings his first year, close to 100 his second year. So you can do the math on where the jump probably is too. But the other thing to keep in mind is that not every inning is created equal. And so when the Dodgers refuse to give an inning count on him, that's because they don't even really have a specific number of innings in mind. I mean, look at the first inning today where he threw 35 pitches versus last inning when he threw 10. A whole lot more to the equation than just simply how many innings they put on the arm.
People are still really gathering the data on how to keep an arm healthy and what is the correct workload. But one thing they do know that fatigue does bring on injury, and so they're trying to find ways to build strength, build endurance, but also don't get to the very edge of fatigue where there's some favoring in the delivery and maybe some wear and tear on the arm that you cannot fix other than surgery. You know you're going to break down an arm, in the elbow and the shoulder particularly, when you throw a pitch at major league velocity.
McCutcheon goes the other way over the base hit. As Buehler, for the first time as a pro, has exceeded 90 pitches. Ross Stripling down to the bullpen.
He will pitch next inning no matter what, and Austin Barnes and Walker Buehler would like to get out of this one with a chance to give him a W with that 9-2 lead.
Brandon Belt 0 for 2 today. Oh, hopping in, ball one. A pop fly. The sun is out now, so Seager really straining to see it. Finds it, catches it. 5 innings for Walker Buehler, who's in great position. Pick up his first win as a big league starter. Runs, but nothing after as he strikes out 6.
You love the effort. You love the pitch count after the first inning. And I love the fact that I only walked 1.
Austin Barnes takes ball 1 from Derek Law.
He's a guy with really good command, didn't walk anybody in the minor league, struck out a lot of guys, but up here at the big league level is almost walking 1 an inning, but today got rid of that. And that's going to be the path to some serious success for Walker Buehler.
Law's the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Giants. They put behind the 8 ball, and Chris Stratton, their starter, couldn't get out of the 2nd. Roberto Gomez came on and ate some innings. Now Law trying to do the same. On a day where the Dodgers have 9 runs on 12 hits through only 5 innings. He gets Barnes swinging for the first out of the 6th. Kyle Farmer takes strike 1. Some defensive changes for the Giants. Alan Hansen, who was just activated today, is at second base. That moves Kelby Tomlinson to short. Brandon Crawford out. And Gorkis Hernandez replaces McCutcheon in right. So Bruce Bochy getting a couple of those guys off of their feet with another game coming tonight. 7 o'clock. Alex Wood and Johnny Cueto. It's a great pitching matchup. One and 2 on Farmer. And if the Dodgers can hang on to this 9-2 lead, they'll be looking to get to 500 tonight. Set up a chance at a series win tomorrow. Farmer goes down the right field line. Hernandez not going to get there. Perfectly dropped into the corner. The 7th Dodger extra base hit of the day.
What is it with San Francisco and Kyle Farmer in the right field line? He can pepper it. Not really an emergency swing, but just a swing where he just eases the ball down there in the corner off the barrel.
Runner at second with 1 out for Muncy. He looks at strike 1.
We thought we were going to have good weather today. We were supposed to threaten to have a little rain in the morning and then clear up and have a beautiful day, and it has arrived.
Muncy shoots one into left, a base hit. Farmer stops at third. Muncy aboard for the 3rd time today. They were playing this doubleheader because of really awful weather the first time the Dodgers came into town. What was the system called that came through? Remember?
Yeah, it was what was it?
Atmospheric river.
Yeah, that's right. It sunk a lot of ships.
It did. Made a lot of land. Buehler's going to hit for himself. Dave Roberts working with a short bench right now, wanting to keep Matt Kemp off his feet until game 2. Puig's already been taken out. Grandal, a little bit sore thumb and hand. And in a 9-2 game, not a big deal here.
Walker will be working hard wherever he is after this game on his bunting. Bunted 1-2 firmly and at bat before, and here having trouble getting it down.
Kind of an odd thing though, right, to get the hugs and the handshakes in the dugout, and then you let down, take a deep breath. Hey, by the way, go out there and take an at bat.
Exactly. You do enjoy it though. But yeah, it could come as a little bit of a surprise.
Stabs through it, 2 out. Wait till Bob Guerin gets his hands on him.
It is so different bunting off a big league pitcher than a machine that's maybe throwing it up there 85 and straight.
Heck of a day for Taylor. Really, the whole top of the order has been ridiculous. 8 of the 9 runs have come from the first 4 in the order. Strike 1. (11 of 17) with 3 walks from the first 5 in the order.
That is going to skew the statistics just because of one really good game, but sure glad it's there and happening.
Two and 1 on Taylor. Runners at the corners and 2 out. Taylor swings through a breaking pitch. Count evens, 2 and 2. Doesn't Derek Law look a little bit like Derek Holland?
Exactly. Put one in the mirror and say, you guys look alike. You throwing with the same arm then?
Full count. You had somebody come up to you yesterday and say that they were your doppelganger.
And I had no idea
Never
what
heard of that word.
doppelganger was. We've gotten that with Walker Buehler on the Twitter account.
Yeah. Taylor with a line drive to center. That's another base hit, and it gets by Blanco. 2 runs are going to score. Taylor stopping at second. It's 11-2.
Top of the order continues to produce, and Chris Taylor has been at the heart of that, leading it off. Home run, a walk, a base hit, and now this ball. I don't know if they'll score a double or a single with an error.
Yep, that one.
Single with an error it is, but Blanco kind of got in between on it. And with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, you get in between. He should have gone for the full-fledged dive maybe, but didn't think he could get there.
Yep, single E8, so 1 RBI instead of 2. And a strike on Chase Utley. Chase's 5th trip up there in 6 innings today. Yeah, I did think that was interesting. The Walker Buehler start on Monday. You were nowhere to be seen. Was that actually you? Are you the same person?
He's 6'2", I'm 6'3". You know, I throw about 50 miles an hour. He throws about 100.
One and 2.
We've looked at different points in the season already with the Dodgers and thought this is what's going to help have them take off. You know, the San Diego series, and you're looking 2 out of 3 from the Nationals, and then all of a sudden you got Miami coming in. You think, all right, this is going to be it. Here's where they go. Well, they win this one and then maybe beat Cueto in game 2. You start, okay, this is where they're going to start. Somewhere where you get the 500 and break through Start creeping games above 500. Win this one though, it's what, 8 out of their last 12?
Yeah. Goes full on Utley.
Start reading articles and looking at beat writers and what they're analyzing. They're starting to analyze which opponents are the Dodgers beating. Everybody will start looking at teams that they have beat that are above 500, that are below 500.
Arizona, by the way, best record in the league at 18-7. Got a run in the 8th inning to tie it against Washington. 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th in D.C. Utley yanks one to right, a base hit. It gets all the way to the wall. Taylor's in to score. They've got a dozen here in San Francisco. And Chase Utley's got his 3rd double of the day.
Creating some room between the 300 average that he had going into that at bat. Now takes it up to 314. You can move your average up in a hurry and by a lot early in the season when you string some hits together.
Inning kept alive for Corey Seager. It's kind of gone against the grain today. Just RBI singles for him. He takes ball on low. By the way, we're talking about you and Walker Buehler looking alike.
What do you think?
You tell me.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's got a shot.
Yeah, uncanny.
I was not blessed with that arm.
Seager pops to center, and Blanco catches it. The 3rd 3-run inning of the day for the Dodgers, all over the Giants in game 1 of this doubleheader. Look at those two, or that one.
His work is done, but there could be a W in his future. His 2nd big league start. Outstanding fastball command today. Of the 94 pitches, 59 were fastballs, 43 were strikes.
Ross Stripling replaces him. And this is outside with his first pitch to Pablo Sandoval. And a 12-2 game here in the 6th inning. Ball on a strike. Ross's ERA is still pretty sub-1. An example where he's probably not pitched as well as that says. He would tell you that. Falls behind Sandoval 2-1. They continue to look for consistency out of that bullpen, and he is far from alone in that regard. Kind of taking turns down there, having lapses. Got a fastball by him, 2-2.
If you have an ERA under 1 but have not been as good as you think, it's probably because out of the bullpen you've been painting other guys.
Sandoval fouls a couple in a row. 2 balls, 2 strikes, leading off this 6th inning in game 1 of this doubleheader. First doubleheader these teams have played against one another since 2003. Dave Roberts is on the Dodgers. The makeup of a rainout in that case as well. Early season rainout, and then they played a doubleheader in September and split it. Edwin Jackson gave him 6 shutout innings in the first game. And then in the second game, the bullpen coughed up a lead in the late innings. They lost it 6-3. A flare to left. Peterson. 1 gone.
It was interesting. I said Ross Stripling maybe he's painting other guys. He's had 1 inherited runner this year and did not score.
With 1 out, here's Slater. Swings and misses 1-1. Slater out of Stanford. Giants drafted him in the 8th round, 2014. Dodgers actually drafted Austin Slater out of high school. And Jacksonville, Florida. Behind a fastball 1-2. Not just from Jacksonville, but the grandson of a longtime Jacksonville mayor. Bounce back to Stripling. 2 up and 2 down. His grandpa is credited with being the one to bring the Jacksonville Jaguars to town.
Quite an accomplishment.
Uh-huh. Two out for Nick Hundley. He's got a little bit of a football background himself. His dad, a longtime assistant college coach. And then he was a high school quarterback. Take strike 1. Ross was a high school receiver. Savvy slot receiver.
If Ross wasn't a big league pitcher, he could be your financial advisor.
I'd trust him.
I would too. I haven't really bothered him with any advice. But if he watches the replay of this outing, maybe he'll offer us some.
Finance major at Texas A&M. Licensed stockbroker. He goes right through the Giants in the 6th inning. Sends us to the 7th with the Dodgers in front 12-2. Dodgers with 12 runs on 16 hits, 8 of them for extra bases today. 12-2 lead to the 7th. Joe Oral and Alana. Game 1 here in San Francisco. Game 2 at 7 tonight. Alex Wood against Johnny Cueto. Cody Bellinger grounds the first pitch that he sees from Derek Law into the shift for the first out. I mean, look at this beautiful ballpark the Giants are in, and it's kind of shocking to remind yourself that there were several times where they almost left San Francisco. How about when the A's moved into Oakland and dominated the world? Moved in 1968. Giants attendance got cut way down. Won those 3 straight world championships. As Peterson looks at a strike. Giants attendance actually at one point had dropped below where it was in the final days in New York at the Polo Grounds. So things were bad within the first 20 years that they were out here. First real courting to get him to leave came from Washington, D.C. There was a group that wanted the Giants to move to D.C. to replace the Senators, who had left to Texas to become the Rangers. There were other rumors they'd move to Seattle to replace the Pilots after their 1 year there. 1 season before going to Milwaukee, becoming the Brewers. Tie 2-1 on Peterson. 1976, there was a proposed sale to Labatt's Brewing Company that was going to send the Giants to Toronto. Only way to keep him in San Francisco at that point was if a local buyer would step up and keep him there. You know, want to keep his hometown Giants here. And then right at the deadline, out of the blue, nobody from San Francisco, but a random cattle rancher from Arizona called and pledged enough to partner with an existing bid that was in place to keep him in San Francisco. And the Labatt sale was nix. But they were gone. 1976. Headed for Canada. Peterson walks. He's aboard for the 4th time today. (12-2) in the 7th. And up comes Austin Barnes. They got close to leaving again about 20 years after that. Less than 20 years. Early 90s. Trying to get funding for a new stadium. Weren't having any luck at it. They looked at some sites downtown. They looked in Santa Clara. They looked in San Jose. And the recommendation from the San Francisco mayor that they dome Candlestick. That was one of the options they explored, but that wasn't happening. So like the agreed sale to the group in Toronto, who came in the 70s, in the early 90s, there was an agreed sale to send him to Tampa Bay. A 2-0. Barnes shoots one on the ground as second. They get one there, and that is all.
Can't be a double play. You got to finish the story.
I know, right? We haven't told you how they stayed in San Francisco yet. Tampa Bay started the planning for this new franchise. In fact, they had 27,000 season ticket deposits in place. That's how real of a thing the Giants to Tampa was. It's been rumored that one of the purchasing partners of that Tampa Bay group was Mike Piazza's dad, Vincent, who was Tommy Lasorda's good friend. He badly wanted to woo Tommy to Tampa to be the Giants manager, eventually be a front office guy running the team. Thank God that never happened. Wouldn't that be odd? But going into the owners' meetings in 1992, the Giants was looking like a done deal moving to Tampa Bay when it was voted down. That gets Farmer on the hand. My goodness.
Got enough of the butt end of the bat and some of the hand. Yeah, it looks like it goes from the baby finger onto the butt end of the bat. Boy, oh boy, and it reminds you of Justin Turner. Hopefully it got the fleshy part there on the bottom.
We're seeing way too much of Nate Lucero in this series.
Kemp taking the afternoon off, probably going to play tonight. Justin Turner out. Yasiel Puig removed from this game. But Kyle Farmer is still standing there at first base.
You can see how inflamed it is. I like to see that he can grab a hold of it and bend it.
That's a good sign.
Muncy with 2 out. One of the big proponents, just wrapping up that Giants moving story, one of the big proponents of getting the owners to vote it down was Peter O'Malley, who understood how important the rivalry was to the fabric of the Dodgers and did his best to convince his fellow owners to vote no. It was the fact that the rivalry was important, plus they would have been trading out of a big media market to a smaller one in Tampa Bay. Miami had already been granted an expansion franchise for the next year, and there were some questions about what that would be like from 0 teams to 2 in a small area there in Florida. They needed 4 of the 13 voters to say no. They got exactly that, and the Giants stayed in San Francisco. Stretch time in San Francisco with the Dodgers in front, 12-2.
The remaining bobblehead giveaways purchased before May 9th versus Arizona, when the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Justin Turner bobblehead presented by State Farm. Visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
Now Smiley Grandal into the game at first base. Chris Taylor goes from center to short. Shuffling things all over the place. Pedro Baez is on to pitch, and I have Jock Peterson in center and Max Muncy in left.
Perfect time to get guys exposed to places that you might use them in an emergency.
Pedro Baez to Kelby Tomlinson with a fastball strike. Dave Roberts getting him right back in the saddle after that nightmare last night.
In some ways, you're trying to get him back on his feet since he fell down on the mound.
Nice.
I think I'm close enough to Pedro to say that on the air. It is embarrassing. I have fallen down on the mound a few times. Catch your spike. Some way you're just working on some little mechanic maybe that gets your foot a little lower than you want to at the wrong time, and you can stumble. That kick leg on a lot of guys, it just kind of glides down the hill. Oh boy, if it catches. A great closer here in San Francisco used to catch his foot on purpose. Rob Nen had a little hesitation move where he'd clip his foot on the mound on purpose to keep himself back.
Baez strikes Tomlinson out for the first out of the 7th. Boy, that's some kind of body control to intentionally clip your spike and still be able to deliver a pitch.
Yeah, you would not teach it that way. Clayton does a little bit of a hesitation on the windup as he comes down. He kind of reloads his back leg.
Derek Law hitting for himself. And shooting a base hit into center.
I don't really want to see a replay of the base hit. I want to see a replay of that side view of Pedro's kick leg and how close it goes down the hill, how it grazes almost the dirt. There's that. See how close that leg comes in. You can see if he was working on something mechanically or he's changing his balance a little bit and all of a sudden you just catch something. Now, you wouldn't recommend doing that in the middle of the game when the game's on the line, but it can happen.
Law, by the way, first career hit, as you might have guessed, and his second career at bat. Gregor Blanco spins out of the way of the first one. On a strike. On the veteran, Gregor Blanco. 34 years old, 10th year in the majors. Signed a minor league deal to come back with the Giants after the Diamondbacks used him last year. Made the team the same way he did originally, as a non-roster invitee in spring training in 2012. Within 5 years with the Giants, included a couple of world championships. With one on, one out in the 7th, he waits on a 2-1. The dirt ball 3. We're talking about Tommy Lasorda and the rumors that the Giants would try to woo him. Somebody mentioned today the rankings done in a San Francisco newspaper at one point, the most hated Dodgers of all time in San Francisco. That's into center field. Peterson plays it on a bounce. Back-to-back one-out hits. Tommy was number 1. You were number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to get a copy of that paper. It's a proud moment.
Yeah, the person that told me this, I said, Oral probably loves that.
There you go.
And Tommy most definitely loves being first on that list.
The closing of Candlestick Park, or this later. Yeah,
you're right.
He used to come out and they'd boo him as he come out of the tunnel and take the walk from the right field line down to the Dodger dugout, and he'd blow kisses to the fans as he was being booed. And he would always come out last when the most people were in the park before the first couple of pitches started the game. A lot of fun to watch. Charged up the whole team.
Alan Hansen swings at a nice changeup for strike 1. In the early days of this rivalry, the managers and the personalities of the managers were a big part of what kind of defined each side. A couple Hall of Famers. John McGraw was the Giants manager. Wilbert Robinson was the Brooklyn manager. They, prior to that, had been best friends. We're teammates in Baltimore, playing in the late 1800s. Not just teammates, but they opened a men's club together in Baltimore. John McGraw and Wilbert Robinson did. The Diamond Cafe. It was a men's club, a bowling alley, and a saloon all rolled into one. Robinson ran it, and it was pretty successful. But it kind of relied on the baseball franchise to draw the business. It was near the ballpark. And Baltimore moved to New York, became the Yankees. And with that, the Diamond Cafe died. Alan Hansen turns on this, crushes it to the deepest part of the yard. It is ruled a home run. It's ruled a home run for Alan Hansen. And his first game with the Giants.
Fastball, and it ends up leaking out over the middle of the plate, kind of outer half. And take a look. It is out of here. Fan reaching over a little bit. Might take a look at that one. Dave Roberts going to ask him to look at it. It could have hit the top of the wall and carry him back in. Has to clear the wall, but not that far. The railing is not the line, the wall is. He definitely reaches over the railing. But I think they're going to call that a double or a triple. Probably. I think they might.
This review by those initiated by the crew chief, Dan Iasonia.
Look at his right hand. The left hand is the one that reaches over, but his elbow is next to the railing. Where he touches the ball is about a good foot and a half in front of that railing.
Did you just drop a non-right hand?
Yeah, the non-right hand. That's the left, isn't it?
Yeah. Those guys, the good ones, are hard to find. Here comes the non-right-hander from Los Angeles.
You got me.
It is a home run.
Wow.
He was just caught up from Sacramento today. A 12-5 game. Baez has given up 3 here in the 7th. Still just 1 out. Gorkis Hernandez to hit for McCutcheon. Came in defensively for him last inning. Strike 1. Ball on a strike. One and 2.
This outing and the outing last night, Pedro's ready to just go, what in the world? You got to just keep trying to make quality pitch after quality pitch. But even when you make a good pitch right now with what he's going through, it doesn't feel that good. It's clean innings and clean outings that are going to bring back your confidence and joy for baseball.
Little jam shot gets over Utley. 4th hit of the inning against Bias.
Maddening when you have hitters hit the ball weakly, but it's not maddening for the hitter because maddening for them when they line out. Both sides of the equation will say it never evens out.
Brandon Belt trying to extend a 9-game hitting streak. 0 for 3 so far. Inside ball 1.
I think you're going to see a little action in the Dodger bullpen right here. Yep, Mark Pryor just stuck his head out. Looks like it's going to be Adam Libator.
Two and 0.
This goes to 3-0. You might see the Dodgers use a visit.
There goes Blanco unchecked, stealing second. And then a fastball up and in, 3-1.
Wow. That is concentrating on the hitter and forgetting completely about the runner at first. Tad embarrassing.
Foul. Brandon Belt out of Southeast Texas, Lufkin, Texas. Grew up in a house that his dad designed and built. His dad was a high school geometry teacher at Brandon's alma mater, Hudson. Talk about putting that practice to use, geometry to use, building a house. He walked him. After striking out Tomlinson to open the inning, he gives up a base hit to the opposing reliever Derek Law. Single to Blanco, home run to Hansen. Single Hernandez, walk Belt.
Rick Honeycutt had just had his lineup card there that he was writing on, and he was twirling it in the air down to Libator, saying, hurry up. Mark Pryor gave Rick the sign that took his hat off, and that's the sign that he's ready, and looks like Dave Roberts is going to make the move.
Well, less impactful of a spot, but no less underwhelming from Pedro Baez. Down to Adam Libator in a 12-5 game in the 7th.
they'll also play an alumni game that starts at 4 o'clock. If you're one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance, you'll also receive a 60th anniversary cap. It's all part of Alumni Weekend presented by Security Benefit. Visit Dodgers.com/alumni game.
Liberatore brought in to face Pablo Sandoval. The Giants one swing away from making this thing a whole lot more interesting than it deserves to be.
I got to start getting in shape for May 12th.
Yeah, you better hurry. It's coming.
I'm going to start walking to and from the ballpark instead of taking the bus.
Not here.
No, that's uphill.
Both ways. The strike on Sandoval. You can go on the workout plan Pablo used to drop a ton of weight.
What was that?
Something hard. He actually worked out with Miguel Cabrera and started doing boxing. A pop-up right side. Grandal near the dugout. Can't catch it.
Something that Yasmani is used to doing, but usually coming from the other direction. Couple of catchers going after this one. One playing first base and just misses it. A little different shaped glove than he's used to, but that's no excuse. He'll tell you he should have had it.
He's played quite a few games at first base in his career. That's ruled an error on Grandal, and now an 0-2 pitch from Liberatore. Sandoval takes it high. But Jock Peterson taking all those ground balls at first base recently. Yasmani Grandal by the cage the other day, half jokingly asked Dave Roberts, hey, just for the record, I'm still above him on the depth chart, right? Wow. And you'd say for sure yes, because here he is, but remember there's nobody left in the outfield really with the injuries they have. Kike Hernandez still available, but yes, Grandal is still ahead of Peterson on the first base depth chart.
It really does look like the Dodgers are going to win this game, but it might be one of those wins where it doesn't feel good. Still areas to work on, especially the bullpen. And Pedro Baez has been kind of the focus of that.
Is the pen your biggest concern right now overall?
It's the one that can really deplete the confidence in a team. You get to a point where you look like you're going to win, and like the 4-2 game yesterday, and all of a sudden you can't finish it off.
Sandoval continuing to work. Let's check in with Alana.
Guys, we had a conversation with Dave Roberts earlier today before the game about his overall concern with this bullpen. Of course, what happened yesterday in that 7th inning with Cingrani and Baez. He said, you know what, these are our guys, and it is his job to put them in the best position for success. He said, guys, though, have to get outs. He goes, even more so now than maybe even at the beginning of the year, there were no roles defined with the exception of Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning. He said, you certainly can't predict results. You don't know what the opposition's going to do with their bats. But there was a point last year and the year before that where you were able to really predict execution as far as you knew who you had in your pen, you know what they were capable of doing, and you were able to match them up more precisely with the opposition. He said, right now I just don't have that. He wouldn't say he didn't have confidence or trust in them. He said he doesn't have the ability to predict that execution.
Now that becomes a very uncomfortable way to have to go about your business as a manager every day. 9th pitch from Liberatore, and Sandoval strikes out. The bottom fell out on it. 2 away.
Confidence and trust in a bullpen for a manager and a pitching coach comes from when the bullpen gate opens. I've got somebody that throws strikes and attacks hitters. It's one of the most maddening things is to have a bullpen that comes in and hits somebody, walks people, and puts gas on the fire. And if they're throwing strikes and they have the arms that you have graded to put out there, then they're probably going to do really well.
Little dribbler off the end of the bat of Austin Slater. Liberatore will meet him in the base path to end the inning. Giants get a few against Baez. Still a 12-5 lead onto the 8th. Studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The Dodger bats coming alive in a big way in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Walker Buehler in line to get his first win as a big league starter. We will hear from Buehler after the game. Nomar and Ned Coletti will join us. They'll say something insightful as well.
I'm looking forward to that. Here's Grandal to lead off the 8th. It's kind of a hybrid post-game pregame. Doubleheader Game 2 starting at 7. Little pop up left center field. It's Austin Slater. Johnny Cueto and Alex Wood in the nightcap. And a rare doubleheader between these clubs. First one they've played since '03. Back to the top of the order, and how good have they been today? You got Taylor, who's reached 4 times, 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. He's scored after all 4. Bangs the first pitch that he sees to Tomlinson at short for the second out. And now up comes Chase Utley, who's got 3 doubles today, which is tied for a franchise record. Never been a game in franchise history where a player has had 4 doubles. Seems hard to believe, huh?
And an individual player would have 3 doubles. Yeah, it does.
Now 3 is, but there's never been 4, you know?
Yeah. It does seem hard to believe with all the games.
Maybe Rick Krajewski's just lying to us.
I don't think he does that. He does a fine job. He has a lot of integrity.
Yeah. Good Beloit College guy.
Friend of yours?
It's all right.
Used to be.
Utley goes down the left field line, hustling out of the box, and holding with a long single.
Whoa, Mule. Was looking to go for the fourth one. At least busting out of the box for it.
He's got a 4-hit day, nonetheless.
Only one way to play the game.
Chase Utley's way. Good sign here. Matt Kemp is going to hit. Off last night's game with quad tightness. Dave Roberts said before this game that he'll start game 2. This is a welcome sign after he had put together such a good couple of weeks. Grandal have been the hottest Dodger hitters, most consistent Dodger hitters. Who would have thought we'd see a time where we'd say, thank God Matt Kemp's going to be back in there.
That's right.
Right? I mean,
when he became a Dodger in the winter, a lot of people thought he wouldn't even be in spring training. He put the work in. The Dodgers are sure glad to have him.
opposite field base hit, Matt Kemp.
A lot of Dodgers going into game 2 will have good feelings about their at-bats. Matt Kemp only took him one at-bat to get that feeling. And we have seen this before over the years. Fantastic approach to right center from Matt throughout his career.
How about this, Sorrell? So they didn't get the record with 4 doubles from Chase Utley, but with Bellinger's at-bat here, they've set a new franchise record for most at-bats in a game with runners in scoring position. This is their 25th.
Wow. Who dug that one up?
Krajewski. Good Beloit College guy.
Back to being your friend.
Yeah. 2-0 on Bellinger.
He's getting a lot of airtime.
Too much.
I think we need to back off the rest of this game and game 2.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can come up with anything for game 2.
Don't challenge him. You're going to have a book to read.
He's already over there writing.
Two on, 2 out, 8th inning. A 2-1. That's a strike. So in the ballpark where Vin Scully called his final game, Deuce is wild here in the 8th. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 coming from Derek Law. Bellinger flips it into left. Austin Slater's not going to get there. Utley's in to score on Bellinger's 3rd hit of the day. It's another nice piece of 2-strike hitting from Cody.
And they're going to extend their record for the franchise hitting with runners in scoring position as Jock Peterson comes up one more time.
So you've got Chris Taylor with 3 hits, Utley with 4, Bellinger with 3, Peterson already has 3. Yeah, the top 5 in the order has been dynamite. His 13 runs, matching a season high, matching the game at San Diego to finish that sweep last week. Swings and misses at the first one. It's the most hits in a 9-inning game for the Dodgers. Most hits period. They had 19 in a extra innings game on April 2nd in Arizona. Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt, though, grinding away on the bullpen struggles the last couple days. Peterson to left, Slater towards the corner. That will elude him as well. A 4-hit day for Jock Peterson. This drives home 1 and 2 as the ball gets away from Hundley. And Peterson finds himself a home run shy of the cycle with the first 4-hit game of his career.
Another ball sliced down in the left field corner. Jock realizes it's going to stay fair. And it's off to the races for the base runners. And Cody Bellinger, the last one right here. He is going to be out, but the ball is jarred loose out of Hundley's glove.
.15 for the Dodgers today. Bruce Bochy, that slow, long walk out there to make a change, taking it from Law, handing it to Guerin. Back in a moment. Latest man out of the Giants bullpen in a 15-5 game. The Dodgers, for the 4th time today, have played it 3 in an inning. Jock Peterson with his first career 4-hit game. 2 singles, a triple and a double. He also has a walk today. Austin Barnes hit for the 2nd time. Welcome to the game, Corey Guerin.
I'm not so sure about that one.
Dave Roberts isn't either.
No, I'm not so sure about that one.
Did they not like the send of Bellinger?
I don't know what they didn't like, but that one seemed like it had some motive behind it.
And now Farmer, who was hit his last time up. Takes strike 1. Good catch by Hundley. Well, if you like tension, tune in at 7 because you got another game between these teams coming. There's always a little bit of tension to start with between bitter rivals.
If he misses his target again by 3 feet but wide, I would say that the hit batter was not intentional. He is just struggling with command, but it just seemed like there was a lot of coincidence there. You don't really get instructed by people to hit people on purpose, but you might hear something in the dugout or the bullpen. Somebody say, since they're combined here in San Francisco, somebody might say something like, something's got to be done. With some code phrases.
Farmer hits a high fly ball to left center field for Austin Slater. And that's that in the 8th. But the Dodgers get 3 more. 15 runs on 20 hits today, both season highs. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Remember, very early on today, end of the 2nd inning, Yasiel Puig racing into the corner to catch this one and would leave the game after his ensuing at-bat where he fouled a ball off his foot. Flied out. It's the last we saw of him. Another game coming tonight. Be a surprise to see Puig, especially by the way Jock Peterson has played in this game. May get back-to-back starts for him, and Matt Kemp back in there. Josh Fields comes on, and as he does, we'll have to keep a close eye to see if there's any kind of retaliation. 3-hit batsman on the other side, including on the first pitch Corey Guerin threw. Well, a line drive to left for Nick Hundley. That is gone. Fields threw 1 pitch yesterday. The park just barely swallowed it up on Evan Longoria. It doesn't hold this one. Hundley with a solo shot, his 2nd. (15-5). Catcher at the plate understands that pitchers are just trying to get it done quickly, keep their pitch count down, attack early. Josh Fields relies on his fastball an awful lot. Hundley guesses fastball, gets one near the middle of the plate, and plants it in the left field bleachers. Now Kelby Tomlinson takes ball 1.
The retaliation topic is probably one the Dodgers will leave alone. With another game coming up and facing Cueto. If you got a good vibe going on in your team and nobody got really hurt from the hit batters. The closest one was Kyle Farmer's up and in on his hand. If you got a chance to get back to 500 and get on a roll, so maybe not stir it up right now. Probably somebody at home saying, no, they need to do that. They need to light a fire under themselves and get the rivalry brewing, and maybe that's what gets them going. But that could be a strategy. But I think they just want to get through this game and with as few pitches as possible and get on to game 2.
Baltimore chop, left side, no play.
Tomlinson runs well. He was leaning towards first as that ball is chopped off the plate. And so he was going to get a real good jump, and with his speed, probably even with a clean exchange, I don't think Kyle Farmer gets him.
First hit for Tomlinson. Austin Jackson to bat in the 9 spot. One ball, no strikes. Flied off the end of the bat. Grandal's out of room. It's 1-1. And a guy that the Yankees drafted and paid way more money than your normal 8th rounder because he was committed to Georgia Tech to play baseball and basketball. He's one of the best basketball recruits in the country. Could have had his choice for that sport. But ultimately decided to sign with the Yankees. Who had been watching him since he was 12 years old when they saw him hit 3 home runs in a 14 and under game. As a 12-year-old. Gets his hands in and loops one to short left field. Max Muncy's got it. Jackson just hit in the pitcher's spot there. There is nobody warming down in the Giants bullpen. We may get to see a pitcher or a position player pitch in the 9th inning, especially with the doubleheader coming. The second game of the doubleheader coming.
That's one way that a losing manager can loosen up a clubhouse. Everybody gets distracted by that position player pitching and laughing about it a little bit. Kind of a statement like we are moving on to the next game.
There's only 2 players still available on his bench, Longoria and Posey. Not going to be one of those guys. Maybe some shuffling around.
Whoever it is, he might be warming up down under the tunnel because he's sure not in the bullpen.
Right.
Completely different stresses when you throw down a hill compared to from your position on flat ground, and it's something that managers worry about. Instead of landing and stabilizing quickly, your body's moving away from your arm as you come down the hill.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Blanco. tap to second. Utley gets one, and that's all. Blanco runs well. 2 away. And here's Alan Hansen. Had a 3-run home run in his first at bat in the majors this year. Fields in there with a strike. So 7 o'clock tonight, Cueto and Wood. Tomorrow at 2, it's Kenta Maeda and Ty Block in the final game of this series. Dodgers then on to Arizona. The Diamondbacks, by the way, won again today. Won in extras at Washington. So they have the second longest series winning streak to open a season in baseball history. On their first 9 series. The only longer one, the 1907 Chicago Cubs won their first 11.
The Dodgers will have a few goals there when they get into Arizona, win the series. So catching up on the first place Diamondbacks.
3-1 on Hansen. Bases loaded walk from A.J. Pollock, the difference in that game. Pollock had tied the game in the 8th on an RBI single. A pop up. Taylor angles out. Muncy comes on. It's Taylor to end the inning. Hundley starts it with a home run, but still a 9-run lead as we go to the 9th. .35 over his first 4 starts of the year. Ready to get weird, Oral?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pablo Sandoval is the new Giants pitcher.
He's having to take off some jewelry or wristband. We're going to want to cut it off.
Oh. They're seriously cutting it off?
Looks like it.
Didn't have a hook on it, or? I was there when. First batter that Pablo Sandoval faces in his highly anticipated pitching debut is Max Muncy, and he misses outside with a heater at 83. Muncy grounds it to Alan Hansen. 1 out. What's the book on Pablo Sandoval, Oral?
I don't know if it's a heater or a changeup yet.
Okay.
83 though. And after that, I don't know if he'll throw a breaking ball here.
Grandal. Oh.
Dropped the hammer on him at 69.
Grandal laughed.
He works fast like Cueto. You get to see that in game 2. It's right on the rubber and comes right at you.
Really fast. Hold those replays, Mike Levy.
Look at it. He doesn't even leave the rubber. I'm not sure it gets down the hill. 87.
Grandal's got to have butterflies, right? Oh, no. He put it in play. That's all he wants. 2 up, 2 down. Pablo Sandoval leading the majors in ground ball percentage. And everybody loves it in orange and in blue.
So 87, he did throw 83. We call that a heaters. Heaters from 83 to 87's got a breaking ball. Could tie a record right here. 3 ground ball outs in an inning.
Strike 1 on Taylor. A swing and a miss.
17 miles an hour. He just changed speeds.
Impossible.
87 to 70, and here he goes.
You know, Grandal is laughing and kind of playing along. Chris Taylor is the last guy that's going to play along with Pablo Sandoval. Ground ball to short. Sandoval goes 1, 2, 3 on 11 pitches. The San Francisco Giants all-time ERA champion is Pablo Sandoval. By Lexus, Walker Buehler is in position to get his first big league win as a starter.
Settled down after the first. The first pitch strikes were coming very early and often, and he was fantastic. I hope he gets the W here.
Scott Alexander to pitch the bottom of the 9th. A couple of ground ball pitchers handled in the 9th inning between Sandoval and Alexander.
Scott looking to get on track. He is definitely looking for strike one, and sinkers down by the knees and not below the knees.
Oh my gosh, what a shrill scream. Dorcas Hernandez takes ball one. One ball, one strike. Ground ball at third, Farmer. It's foul. Sandoval, by the way, the first Giants position player to pitch, and this is surprising. It seems like everybody has this once every year or two, but first one since 1991.
That seems like a long, long time. There's no way that that guy got 3 ground outs on 11 pitches.
In about 17 seconds.
Oh, it was an unbelievable.
So fast.
I mean, if he pitched every inning in the big leagues, there'd be no pace of play rules.
There wouldn't.
There'd be no replays either.
Nope. It'd be 1920. Alexander strikes out Hernandez for the first out of the night. Dodgers today 15 runs on 20 hits. If you're curious, the franchise record for hits in a game is 28. Brooklyn Robbins did that in 1917, and they did it in 1930. Talked about Wilbert Robinson. They were called the Brooklyn Robins because of him. He was that loved by Brooklyn. Brett Belt grounds to Kyle Farmer. 2 up, 2 down in the ninth. They loved him so much they didn't just name the team after him, but for a while they had Robin's egg colored uniforms, light blue uniforms. And speaking of love, here is the Panda.
Very rarely are you down 15-6 and they're standing ovation for the pitcher.
Right. Oh, and 2. They're going to have to hustle the people out of here with a split admission doubleheader. Only a couple hours off from game 2. So 2 hours, 10 minutes. You better hurry up and get ready, Oral. What do you got on Cueto? What do you got on Wood?
I'm going to have to do some research.
You have 2 hours and 9 minutes. Dodgers will be 12-13 with a chance tonight to get back to 500. And if they can do that, opportunity to win the series tomorrow. Won't be easy though. Johnny Cueto's been the best in baseball this year so far. Sandoval takes a 2-out walk.
Nobody more frustrated than Scott Alexander on his own performance.
ball one on Austin Slater. Strike one. Well, both teams will be relying heavily on their starters tonight. Giants had to go into their bullpen in the second inning. 3 1/3 from Gomez, 3 innings from Law. Guerin got it out. Sandoval saved him by pitching an inning. Alexander's the 5th different Dodger to pitch out of the bullpen today. Slater rolls it softly to short, and Taylor throws to second. That's that. Dodgers with their best offensive performance of the season. 15 runs on 20 hits to even the series at a game apiece. For Orr Hershiser, Lana Rizzo, the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from San Francisco for now. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Alex Wood for the Dodgers, Johnny Cueto for the Giants. They win this one 15-6, back to within a game of 500. Nexus Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.